Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to me. No, welcome to Mystic Temple Spirituality for a New Age. I'm Monica Bay, also known as the Divine Mother, and I am here to bring you truth. We are doing a divinity session today where we are going to go through a passage from the Book of Rasheeda, break that down, and give you guys a very, very important message of what that passage means. So, I also, since we are now doing divinity sessions live, I'm also channeling while I do this. So, as you guys know, the Cosmic Collective Consciousness is who is writing the Book of Rasheeda through me. They literally take over my body. I'm like doing the robot. They take over my body, and then they just start writing. And then I don't know what's written until I come back, and I'm like, oh. So, as you know, they've been writing this since 2015, and it is still a work of art. It is still a living text. It is still being written. They just wrote another passage the other day. So today's passage, I think we're still in 2024. We are going in order of the passages written. Today's passage is really a message about, I'm just going to ask it as a question. Why are you all up in everybody else's business but your own? that's what today's that's what today's message is about. All right. So let's get into the passage and then let me break that down for you. All right. So the passage is let the world be what it is while still allowing yourself to transform within it. Being in flow is key, but not powerless. Let down your guards and allow life to unfold. Still take the reins to steer toward your path. Everyone is steering towards a different path, yet all to the same end. Let them be on their path. All right. So I think that this one, the Book of Rasheeda is very cryptic at times, and then sometimes it's super straightforward. I think this one is a lot more straightforward than some of the others. And what they're saying is, like I said, why go up in everybody else's business but your own? So seriously, the things that happen, right? We especially out. Let me talk about people that you care about. So this passage is really talking about us paying so much attention and caring so much, which we are supposed to care about others, what's going on in other people's path, right? And trying to change them, focusing on changing people, focusing on intervening in everybody's path, focusing on, oh, this person's going down the wrong path. Let me intervene. Let me take them off and bring them back to where I think they should go. Understand that right there, what I just said in that example, is the ego. And so what this passage is telling you is a reminder that everyone is on their own individual path. So sometimes even when it feels like you want to intervene because you really do believe that this person should be going down this road instead of that road, know that everyone's path is laid out, mistakes and all. Okay. Not every mistake is predetermined, but what I'm saying is, that this all leads up to who we're supposed to become, right? Even the negative things that we have to go through, they provide lessons. We talk about suffering a lot, right? They provide lessons for people. So the hardest thing to do is when it's someone that you care about. This is easy to do when it's someone that you don't care about. If it's just someone that you're like, well, I'm just mind my business, let you go through your thing, right? But when it's your spouse, when it's your family member, when it's a close friend or associate, and that the decision that they just made is going to lead to their suffering, um, and you sometimes have to just let them go down that path. That's the message here. Sometimes you just have to let people go down their path. So the difference is, I know some of you are like, well, aren't we supposed to help people and things like that? Yes, but here's the difference. And we've talked about this before, but here's the difference. When you feel guided, remember we have soul contracts. So when you feel guided to intervene or to help someone or to say something to someone, to drop a nugget, to drop a gem, to plant a seed, to help steer, right? When you feel guided to do that from in here, that's a soul contract. When you are moving from ego, out of fear, out of judgment, out of your own worldview, right? When you're moving out of that, that's the ego, and it's not coming from here. It's not feeling like, okay, I feel really really guided to let you know this. And also you can tell when it's coming from the ego when you're attached to the outcome. right? So if I am trying to, if someone I think is making a wrong decision, right, and and I may, give my advice. I'm not saying don't give your advice. You can give your advice, but if you're not, if I am focused on, I'm giving this advice because you have to do this, and if you don't do that, that's then I feel like I wasted my time. That's coming from the ego. The ego is attached to the outcome. The ego doesn't understand that we're all here on our own individual paths, and that there is no such thing as good or bad. Everything just is. And that even the bad things on our path lead us to who we're supposed to become, give us challenges, give us opportunities for growth and things like that if we choose to respond to them properly. So the ego doesn't understand any of that. So the ego is focused more on the outcome and control and force. Okay. The soul understands all of this. The spirit understands all of this. So it knows I'm going to, I see where this is. I see this is a hot mess train going on right now. I see it. I'm gonna let you know. Okay. If you don't respond, or if you don't do it, that's on you. I can be detached from that, right? I can be detached from that hot mess train because I know that clearly we're all autonomous beings, and we're all on a different path, but as the passage says, all leading to the same end, because we are all drops in an ocean. Those drops came from the ocean. They are all living individual lives right now. At the end of these lives, those drops go right back into the same ocean. It's all to the same end. So once you really start to understand that, then you can more so detach from um, from the outcome of everything in the world, everything in other people's lives, especially. This passage is more so about other people's lives, but also you can take this passage and expand it to the world as well, because we tend to get so caught up with um, everything that's going on in the world, with politics, with other people, with celebrities that have opinions that we may agree with or may not agree. Who cares? Who cares? Why are we all caught up in that? And our nervous system is responding, and we're getting focused on your own path. Focus on your own path. That is the message. Focus on your path, but it's not about selfishness. It's not about being completely uncaring about other people. It's about just understanding this main principle, is that we all are drops in the ocean that come all back to the same ocean, and we blend again. Right? We're all on different paths, but the end is all the same. Okay. I'm going to read a message. Okay, it says, I'm not going to try to do your name this time. It says that that's me right now, but with my own life. Yes, so it's important that you understand that your life is the most important life to your life, right? Your incarnation. That's where you should stay focused. You should stay focused on your path. And when there are soul contracts, that is when you are to intervene. That is when you are to do whatever you feel guided to do in that moment, because it is providing something to them. That was a contract. Meet all your soul contracts. Okay, meet all of them. But you do what you're supposed to do within that contract, and you move back on your path. Keep your focus on your path. Keep your focus on where you are going. Everyone at the end of the day, again, is all to the same end. Everyone is moving toward soul growth, toward life purpose. Everyone is playing different roles in this game, and it's all leading to the same thing. That's the point of this message. So if you are someone who doesn't, who always has to control people, right? Always trying to change people, you get in a relationship with the idea that I'm going to change this person, a romantic relationship. You guys know who you are. I'm talking to you. You know who you are. When you get in a relationship, in the saying, well, these are the flaws. I can change this person. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. You shouldn't be focused on changing people. You can help people improve, right? Again, when you feel guided, it's important that you understand the separation between the ego and the soul purpose and the soul guidance, because the ego will get you in all kinds of crazy chaos. Okay, trying to control, trying to change, trying to stay attached to an outcome. Why do we get frustrated? Just the act of frustration. the state of being of frustration. Think about what that is. A frustration is there because it's an energy that's rejecting a reality, right? Because of and what's underneath that is a need to control that reality, and a need to want that to be different and not accept it. And we talked about a lack of acceptance sometime last week in one of the lives. And so these are things that it's important if you want to have more peace in your life, if you want to also have more understanding and compassion for other people, then and believe me, and you should want to have more understanding and compassion towards people, because that actually all leads to a better world when we have more understanding and compassion towards each other, instead of imposing our views on other people, imposing our beliefs on other people, imposing our um, our life perspective on other people who are not ready to receive it, right? That doesn't mean you can't profess whatever you want to profess, but being not attached to the outcome means I say what I have to say and you do with it from there. I'm not attached to your life because that's not my life. This is my life. Let me focus on my life. I'm going to give you what I can give you, right? For me personally, when I give you guys messages and stuff like that, I'm not attached to whether you accept them or not. Okay? I'm doing my sole purpose of giving the message. The Book of Rasheeda said those with open channels to receive will be saved. So if you have an open channel to receive, you're going to receive it. If you reject it, if you don't like it, that's on you. That's not my business. That's not my problem. Okay. I don't get attached to the outcome. All right. So you either like it or you don't like it. You're either ready to get it or you're not ready to get it. But eventually, hopefully, you'll be ready to get it. Right. Eventually, as you go through your more suffering and stuff like that, to come back to the same point that I told you to begin with, which, which some of you do because I've heard feedback from that. All right. After giving advice, I used to say, take it, leave it, or feed it to the dog. But someone is going to use it out, get use out of it. Right. Exactly. And sometimes also, when I want you guys to think and remember, like the Ascension guy just said, if you give someone advice, right, they don't have to accept it. So stop giving advice with the intention of control, with the intention of this has to be the outcome. Okay? Stop giving advice like that. Just give advice out of your heart because you want to give advice. Let them do what they need to do with that advice because they are on their own path. Okay? If they are ready to accept that, then that's great. If they're not ready to accept it, also don't feel like that was for naught, because if you felt guided to do that, that was a soul contract. So just because you didn't have the end result that you wanted doesn't mean that there wasn't an impact. Because guess what? Most people, it requires them to hear the same thing multiple times before they take an action or before anything shifts in them. I may say something to someone and they're not ready to receive it, but it locks in somewhere, right? In the subconscious, it locks in. And then someone else says that to them a year later, and then they're like, oh, you know what? Someone else said that to me. Then there's the recall. Now there's a tie in. That may not have affected them either. Then someone else says something to them later. And, so here, that's the train. And then eventually, when someone says it, because they've heard it other times, it locks in, right? And then they're like, oh, you know, right? Yeah, exactly. It's a repetition. And so that does that mean me being the first person that said that and someone else finally got it through to them later? Does that mean that my saying was for naught? No, that I built the foundation that the other ones stood upon, right? So I planted the first seed, and then the next person, each person in that chain was important to creating the effect in that person's life. And that person may never take that advice. They may never take that advice. And that is their choice. Why? Because we have free will. So it's important that you remember everyone is on their own path and stop trying to control everyone. And the hardest, I'm going to talk about this, the hardest um, implementation of this teaching today is with your own children. That's the hardest implementation because your children are the closest to you. And as a parent, you always feel like you have to control everything, right? There's also a passage that we haven't revealed yet in the Book of Rasheeda that talks about how parents should view their children and how you should view parenting itself. And it kind of ties in with this, but we're not ready to reveal that passage yet, so I'll talk about that at another time. But um, it's really about it's really about you understanding that just because you gave birth to a child, or together, man and woman, birth child, whatever, right? Just because you gave life to another human being does not mean that you own that human being and their life path. Yes, you have to take care of them. Yes, you bring them up in the best way that you can, right? No perfect is parent. No, no perfect is parent. No parent is perfect, but the best parents understand this principle. The best parents understand that this is an individual. This is a soul that came into this body, okay, that I contributed some chromosomes to, and I love and I'm connected to, right? But there's a soul that came into this body to live and experience. This soul came into this body to live and experience, to um, uh, uh, achieve a life purpose, and to have a very specific path that leads them to soul growth. So you don't have a right to, just because you're their parent, you do not have a right to dictate that path. And a lot of parents go very, very wrong with that. I'm telling you, because I obviously, you guys know I'm a healer, and and a life coach and a hypnotist and all those things. And I get a lot of clients who are now adults, right? Who were damaged by their parents because their parents wanted to move them down a very specific path that wasn't their path. Okay. So that doesn't mean don't parent your children. That doesn't mean don't make sure that they're safe. That doesn't mean any of that. But what it means is keep this in mind as you are working with your children, as you are helping them grow into wonderful contributing adults. Okay. Let them be on their path. And when you see that they have natural interest in something, don't dumb that down. You know how many, for any of you parents that have done that, shame on you. I will just say it. I don't push shame, but I'm just saying shame on you because I see the damage, because the adults come to me after growing up through that. They come to me, and we have to undo that damage. So if you have a child that is naturally interested in something, and it lights them up inside, never dumb that down. Do not ever dim your child's light, ever. That does so much damage, and they really, really get disconnected from themselves. So again, that's one of the hardest thing to do. Alita said, no ownership, just teaching and guidance and enlightenment. Exactly, exactly. That is your role as a parent. Your role is to guide. Your role is to help. Your role is to enlighten. That doesn't mean control and confine and and tell them what they can't do. You should be telling them everything they can do. Okay? Those are the best parents. Okay? And like I said, there are no perfect parents. There's no parent out there that never made any mistake, okay? Or never did something that ended up damaging their child unbeknownst to them, okay? It happens. But once you understand this and once you know, then you can do better. Once you know better, you can do better. So remember that. I know that because I had to bring that up because parenting is one of the hardest parts of this concept, and understanding this and applying it. But you have to let everyone be on their path, your children included. And all you can do is do what you can do, but you have to detach from the outcome and trust and know that as long, especially with parenting, as long as you have given this child what everything they need to have good thought processes, to have good judgment, to have to have good whatever you instilled in them, right? As long as you have done all of that, you have to trust them. You have to trust them to go through their life. There's a soul in that body that came here for a reason. Okay. And the same is for everyone. All of your peers, everyone around you, there are souls in these bodies that came here for a reason. Let them be on their path. And so, as the passage says, literally, I think the last sentence was, let them be on their path. So, you think about that with everything. Anytime you find yourself getting rigid and stringent about someone else, about what someone else is or is not doing, anytime you find yourself doing that, take a deep breath. let go, detach from the outcome. Because chances are, if you're getting like this, if this is affecting you in your nervous system, you are attaching yourself to the outcome of that person's path. And that's not your journey. That's not your role. And that's not your duty or responsibility. Your responsibility is not to some every tiny little thing that happens on someone else's path. Your responsibility is what happens on your path. Okay. And we are all here together. Okay. We are all part of this massive ecosystem of souls here on this soul. I like that. Ecosystem of souls. I like that. Who are on this planet, right? Who are moving through these bodies. And so we're not disconnected. We're all connected and everything affects each other. However, what this passage is telling you is that your focus needs to be on your own path while still understanding the massive connectiveness of everything and this ecosystem, while still understanding your impact on others, while still understanding your influence, whether that's negative or positive, on other people, other groups, and the world at large when you make choices that you make, right? But still, while you're keeping everyone else in mind, you're also mainly focused on your path and not trying to control everyone else's path. So when you have, we'll talk about the soul contracts again. When you have messages for other people, you give them, right? You give the messages, you give the help. I feel guided to heal people and help people all the time. I will pass by homeless people and just heal them, and they don't even know I'm healing them. I just do, I just do the thing, right? I'll see people with spirits attached to them, and I just remove them because I see it and I feel guided to do so, right? But am I do I need to be focused on what happens after that and their path and all of that? No, because I just did what I there was a soul contract of some sort. It lasted 2 seconds. I did my thing and I kept walking, right? And when I'm healing people, like I don't have to do anything with my hands or anything because everything is just all energy. So I'm just walking and I'm doing stuff, and no no one can see what I'm doing. So I just do those things again because I feel like I feel guided to do so. And but if I don't feel guided to do so, then I will literally get a message like, "Oh, should I do that?" I'll get a message, "No, that person is supposed to blah blah blah." But why do I know that? Because I'm very tuned into myself. I'm very tuned into my spirit. I have a direct connection with my soul. I have a direct communication line with my soul. But guess what? So do you. As long as you exercise that, as long as you flex that muscle, as long as you work it, and you keep that connection with yourself, you all have that same ability to be very very connected and know exactly whether something is supposed to be happening right now or whether you're supposed to just keep on walking. Okay, so that same thing goes with life, with as you encounter other people, as you encounter other situations, as you encounter everything. We talked before about a lot of healers always feeling like they have to heal everyone or they have to fix everyone. And that again, and even if you're not a healer, we're all healers in some way, shape, or form. By the way, just healing your method of healing may look a little different than other people. At the end of the day, we are all healers in some way, shape, or form. Some of us are energy healers. Some of us are communication healers where we just say things and it hits people. Some of us are other kind of healers. Some of times just our presence heals other people, right? So at the end of the day, all of us are healers in some way, shape, or form. But a lot of times people feel, especially givers, feel like they have to fix everyone. Again, fixing people, that's attached to the outcome. Don't be attached to the outcome. There's not a fixing, right? There's an uncovering, there's a remembrance, and there is a helping and a guidance and stuff like that. But not attached to the outcome where it's bringing you angst and it's affecting your own nervous system. Okay, everything in life we should approach with this kind of detachment. And this is why almost every ancient spiritual tradition focused on detachment. Think about it. I can't think of any ancient one, like prior to Christianity and stuff. I can't think of any ancient one that didn't focus on attachment. There probably was some detachment. There probably was some, but I can't think of any right now. So detachment has always been, why is that a thread that has been woven through so many ancient traditions? Because they understood very, very early on that detachment is needed for peace. Detachment is needed for focus. Detachment is needed for really starting to achieve our life purpose. Why? Because while we are, if without detachment, we are attached. And if we're attached to everything, then we're focused on everything except for what's actually important. Remember the three keys of, or the three pillars of life that the Cosmic Collective Consciousness downloaded to me last year, which is your life purpose, your vessel, and your soul growth. So those three pillars, they said, are the only things that matter. Everything else is supplementary. They're the only things that matter to your incarnation. Okay. Not to your life experience, but your incarnation. Okay. There's a difference. But these are the three things that matter to your incarnation, but they affect your life experience. So everything else is supplementary, because if you focus on just these three, life is just better. Life is just so much better. Life is so much more wonderful. Your experience is more enjoyable, and you automatically begin to ascend as well. Because in order to really focus on these things, detachment is one of those things that has to happen. And there's so many things that have to happen. By the way, go to the, if you are interested in really working on this for yourself, go to the Take Our Pathways program, which is an ongoing program you can join. It's a compilation or a partnership between Mystic Temple and Mystic University, and it is focused on. It's called the Pathways to Divine Consciousness and Fulfillment, because it is focused on bringing you from 3D to 10D consciousness, but also, and people are already raising in consciousness. We have a lot of people at 60 and 70 already. And so, and we also, but also your life fulfillment. So not just levels of consciousness, but your life fulfillment, which is your life experience, which is your happiness, your joy, and things like that. So this is a program that really, really helps you improve your life experience, as well as ascending in your consciousness, focusing on those three pillars. And there's a lot of different frameworks that we have within that program that I downloaded that are very specific. You can't find them anywhere else because I downloaded them and they just don't exist anywhere else. And that came directly from the Cosmic Collective Consciousness. So they are driving this program through me. But it's very, very powerful. And as you work on these things more, then you start to approach life differently. Everything in life can be so much better. It depends on the lens with which you view your life. Okay. And as you raise in consciousness, you begin to view life differently. And as you become more fulfilled in life, you begin to view life differently. That viewing life differently ends up helping you become more fulfilled too, and improves your happiness. So everything works together. Everything works together. That's one of the reasons why here at Mystic Temple, we're not just about spirituality. We're not all in the clouds. We are in the clouds, but we are also very much grounded in this life, because that's why we came here. I think it does a disservice when some spiritual people only focus on the spirituality, and as if we're not really in these human bodies, and we're not, moving through this fictitious world. We understand it's fictitious, but we're still in it for a reason, right? We can understand the illusion and still be in the illusion at the same time. And that's really the key. That's really the key, because if your soul did not want to experience the human experience, it wouldn't have come here. It wouldn't be in your body. You wouldn't be in this illusion if your soul didn't want you to move through this illusion, right? So at the end of the day, both are important. That's duality of spirituality and physicality, and understanding that, and understanding the intersection between those two, and why that intersection is there. Okay, it's there for those three pillars: your life, your vessel, your soul growth, and your life purpose. That's why both are needed. You need both of those elements in order to move through and achieve those things. Okay. All right. So at the end of the day, what's important is that you remember everyone is on their own path. You are on your path. Focus at the end of the day, focus on your path. Interact with other people's path, but do not be attached to the outcomes of other people's path. Mind your business. No. No, you don't have to mind your business all the time, but I'm just saying, don't be focused on other people's path. Focus on your own, and you will find more peace, more focus, right, on your path, and more achievement on your path. Okay. All right. So that is all I have for you guys today. We're going to, uh, sorry, I'm getting messages. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right, sorry. I had a whole conversation right there. You didn't know. Uh, embrace your weird, guys. All right, so we're gonna. So they wanted me to do a little chant for you guys in the divine language. That was funny, in the divine language. Um, so if for those of you who don't know the divine language is something. It's a very specific language. It's actually a structured language, just like English. And it the downloaded by the Cosmic Collective Consciousness back in I think it was 2013. And so I've been speaking in this language ever since. But anyway, when I speak in this language, it's very, very powerful and really, really hits you energetically. And it actually gets right into the fabric of the universe and shifts things and gets into the fabric of you and shifts things as well. Divine download ensues. Yes, yes. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do the chant that they want me to do. Okay. All right. Emabikosa, Emakalisi, Emabikosa, Emakalisi, Kalkalisi, Kalkalisi Bikosa, Eshna Popoeshna Sha, Eshna Popoeshna Sha, Kalkalisi, Emabikosa, 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 Zato Bikosa, Lehate Hobikosa, Zato Bikosa, Lehate Hobikosa, Zato Bikosa, Lehate Hobikosa, Zato Bikosa, Lehate Hobikosa, Evumasi Hokosabi Felihoki. Evumasi hokosabi feli hoki eshna popoeshna sha. Eshna popoeshna sha. Eshna popoeshna sha. Okay. All right. Whew. Hopefully you guys felt that. I feel it all over. All right. Okay, so guys feel that energy? Feel that energy. All right. So yes, so that hopefully you felt that. Hold on, I gotta calm down for a second. That was a lot of power and energy coming out. Okay. All right. So so take some deep breaths. Everyone, what I just did was infusing power and force, not force in a bad way, but fire kind of force, energy force in your path, in your uh, in your spirit, and allowing you to remain focused, receiving all the abundance that you need to receive on your path, receiving everything that is there for you. Okay. All right. Okay. Real Ascension Guide says, yes, I felt it. Good, good. I'm glad. All right, guys. So that's all I have for you guys today. I will see you guys tomorrow on the Channel Wisdom Circle. Yes, we will be doing that. And yeah, that's all we got for today. So have a wonderful day. Bye. Zora Kunti.
I hear the drum in my chest, boom, boom. The ego's loud, but the soul makes room. Whispers like waves under the moonlight sky. It's a map with no edges, a compass that flies. Do you feel it calling? Do you feel it rise? A rhythm deeper than the world disguise. Let your soul let it take the wheel. Feel the truth, not what they make you feel. Oh, let it guide you like the stars at night. Soul compass shining in the endless light. I try to climb, but the ladder bent. The ego's corn, but my soul's the same. Gold face quick, but the essence stays.